Welcome back to another day of the Portal Bonanza podcast, brought to you by Hoop Scoop Media. Make sure to give us a follow on all of our social media accounts. That would really help us out. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably like the transfer portal, and we have lots of fun content on our Twitter at Hoop Scoop Media, on our Instagram at the same handle, that both give you lots of insightful information, some fun rankings, stuff like that, more info on who's in the portal, all of that fun stuff. Follow Kyle at Mid Major Basketball on Instagram. Probably not as much portal stuff right now up on his account, but once that's the only thing, he'll probably have some great content as well, and content that in the portal that matches up with what some of the more notable names in the industry are making lists. Honestly, I think a lot of the lists that we make are better considering some of the stuff I've seen from people who might not actually watch the games.
Yeah, these people don't watch all these teams like we do. So
No. And even like, I mean, I love mid-major teams, but
we don't
like,
watch everyone, but we
no, but
watch.
even still, like, I feel like we know enough to like know like,
We can at least check like stats on some
yeah,
guys. And that's more
yeah,
than some people do when making lists.
yeah. That could be true. But yeah, today, day two of the portal being completely officially open to everyone. Some pretty good entries today. I don't know if it was as good as yesterday, but the quality I think wasn't like
Hey,
too
three
much
straight
worse.
days with a quality top 15 list that we were able to make from literally the
Yeah,
portal entries of
yeah,
like one day.
that is true. I mean, the first day that we did was kind of everyone combined up to that point, a
Yeah,
bunch of people that had announced but aren't actually entering. But
we're
I
two for
mean,
two
still a really good day, and yeah, hopefully we can go 3 for 3
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Just a note that we will not be podcasting during the days of March Madness this week.
Too much going on.
No, no podcast Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, most likely. If anything changes, we will update that. But no one cares about a portal these days. At least I certainly don't. So
Mm-mm.
let's just get right into it, shall we, with our top 15. I'll give you the nod to start since
Eh?
I was the one that started the top 15 yesterday. Oh,
Um,
wait, no, wait. Let's talk about the commitments first. Let's talk about the commitments first. Sorry to everyone I psyched out there listening, watching, but yeah. So Houston Mallette, Pepperdine guard, he is off to Alabama. What do we think about this one, Kyle?
I actually just figured out about that as soon as you said it. I missed that one. I just see him being such an Alabama guard fit like that he just like he
Mhm.
fits them like a glove. I think he didn't really reach his the peak of his potential at Pepperdine. He was a bit inefficient at times, but I think under a great coach and Nate Oates who can get the most out of offensive players, I think he'll be really good in whatever role he plays.
Yeah, I mean, Let's definitely an offensively focused player, can score from
Mm,
inside and out, very skilled guard. We've
mhm.
mentioned
His upside is
earlier,
crazy.
yeah, I mean, former high major guy, Penn State commit in high school, definitely a very talented kid, has been for years. And I think Alabama, yeah, fits in perfectly. I think he'll be like a solid bench piece, maybe crack starting lineup, but like as a six man, I think he can be very valuable to
Hmm.
Alabama next year, who will probably have a very good defense because Nate Oates likes to have good defenses every other year. So next year they are due. I guess we'll see if he will play into that. He's definitely more of an offensive player, but yeah, I mean, I don't have any problems with his pickup. I mean, sometimes you almost want to wait around and see everyone, but I
They
think
saw
when the
our guy.
opportunity's there, I mean, they made their statement. This is a statement move too, more than it. In addition to it being just like a good pickup, like Alabama, I feel like they made a statement with like getting him right away the
To
day
keep that
after
offensive assembly line
portal
moving,
opened.
you know.
Like they are the first guys to just jump on. Like they know what they're doing. They have a clear plan. So shout out. Yeah, I mean, they're still alive. I mean, obviously they haven't played a game in the tournament, but they're in the tournament.
Yeah, the
Shout out
thing
to that
about
staff.
Fanta's rant today, man, like these coaches literally like during the tournament, for better or
Hmm.
for worse, they have
Yeah.
to keep up with the portal,
Yeah,
regardless if you're in the
absolutely.
tournament or not. Like it's a
And I
crazy
mean, yeah,
culture
I
right
mean, it
now.
sucks, but like it just is it's the
like
name of the game.
sometimes
Like,
with coaches and their assistants, like and it is like the
mhm.
harsh reality. Like sometimes the
Yeah,
coaches aren't all the way in the moment. Like, they
yeah,
have other things they do have to focus on because it's part of their jobs. Like it's just so hard to be on a coaching staff nowadays, man. I don't envy it one bit. So yeah,
yeah. And if coaches just like ignore the portal while they're still playing, then they'll be a step behind.
a lot of
And
tough decisions
yes, but a lot of the high major schools have tons of guys on staff, so
for sure.
um,
Staffs are bigger than they've ever been
they
now.
are well equipped to handle this. It's honestly hurt some mid majors more that
Definitely.
but yeah, the other commitment of the day was Jacob Cruz. UT Martin wing is headed to Missouri. I like this pickup for Dennis Gates. Dennis Gates last year signed a decent portal class in the guys he signed, but like it didn't actually amount to much because it was a bunch of like no one they
Two
took was
guys
like
didn't play. Yeah.
yeah yeah who let's see yeah Tandre
Grill
and
and
Grill
Tanji,
yeah
yeah. I mean, they really
um
just didn't play at all.
yeah, that didn't help with the injuries, but
Bates is good,
still,
at least,
he has been good. But I think the overall thing I'm trying to
but it
get
was
at
not good.
here is you just took like every guy he took was like, okay, yeah, like that's not a bad take. But like when you look at it as overall perspective, it was like, well, what do we really have here on the roster overall? And I
Yeah.
think Cruz can be a difference maker
Oh, for sure.
with
His
his,
ceiling is so high, man.
yeah.
He could be the number one option on this team.
I still think I'd want him to be more of a complimentary player, considering he was a complimentary player at UT Martin to Jordan Sears. But he's an elite complimentary
He
player,
was a
that, and
pretty
I
good
think,
Robin. I mean, what?
oh, absolutely.
Sears averaged like 20 a game. He averaged like
Yeah, I
18 a
mean,
game.
Sears had the ball in his hand the whole time, but Cruz can
Right.
really score the ball, can really shoot the ball,
I'm fine
score
with
from
that.
all three levels. Really good size for his position. Really like this pickup. Dennis Gates, Mizzou was terrible this year. He is not wasting any time to make them good next
And
year.
he's a top five class.
Yeah, and I mean, but that won't do as much as the portal.
No,
Like
definitely not.
freshmen,
And he's learning that
um, yes. I think a good balance of them
for
will
sure.
be the answer. Hopefully.
And, combo some returners from this team, maybe with Tamar Bates. I think you need him back. Sean East is out of eligibility, I think,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
he's
Yeah,
gone. He's gone.
he needs to. He was good this year.
Oh,
I was
he
gonna
was
say he
really good
needs a
this
job,
year.
but maybe he gets an overseas
Yeah,
contract. You never know,
he will
man.
have a job playing basketball next year.
Hey,
But yeah,
earned it.
another portal note is Hampton forward Kyrie Small, and he has withdrawn from the transfer portal. Kyrie is heading back to Hampton for next year. New coach Ivan Thomas, yeah, persuaded him to go back. I mean, Hampton obviously wasn't the best team, but he was a pretty solid player himself. I think
They do have talent.
averaged like 14 and 8 this year as a sophomore. So definitely not a bad start for Thomas at Hampton getting his one of his star players back. Obviously, had some other guys enter the portal, but when you
That's
can get
big.
some guy back that I don't know what Hampton's is like, but I think Mullen probably could have got some bigger offers. I think that's definitely some big progress down there in Hampton. But yeah, back to our top 15 list that was promised earlier. So you can go ahead with number 15 now.
All right. I have an honorable mention, Payne Sparks at 16.
That is actually right at 15.
I have Tyson Acuff at 15. I'm gonna put him right over
Really,
Sparks.
really, really.
Um,
I had him much higher, honestly.
yeah, I mean that ceiling is still there, but like he is still a bit of a shot chucker. He still doesn't play any defense. Like they're gonna have to mold those things, and he was in probably one of the worst cultures in college basketball in Eastern Michigan you can probably get. So yeah, I don't know how he's gonna be at the high major level, although he is extremely talented. Like, and I don't know. I don't know where he fits. I gotta see who's gonna go after him.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I'll just talk about what I have on ACUF right now. I had him at number 6, I believe. Obviously, the thing that concerned me was the bad team. Eastern Michigan has been pretty bad the last 2 years, even though he's been good. But this year, his efficiency took a little bit of a dip. He was more of like the number
Everything.
one guy this year. Obviously, I had Monty Bates last year, but I think he was like a better player on the team than Amani Bates last year.
He was. Oh no, he was
Like
better than
obviously he
Amani
wasn't
last year.
actually like a better like prospect in terms of
Uh,
all that stuff, but
Numbers
like
wise.
he made more of a positive impact on Eastern Michigan last year than Bates. Um, and yeah, I think for his size, which isn't crazy, but I think he can handle the ball a little bit. Kind of showed a little bit more point guard abilities. Can play the combo guard and 6'4" is solid size for a point guard. Um, and yeah, he's a leading scorer in the portal at over like 21 points a game. Again, the efficiency's dropped off, but I think that showed me that when he was like a secondary option, he can be really good. And I mean,
I wonder how teams are going to use him. Are they just going to plug and play
yeah,
him off the bench as just like a sixth or
um,
seventh man, as a guy who can really score the rock? Or are they going to try and play him off ball, maybe have him develop his catch and shoot game? Because, he didn't do a ton of that at EMU. He was, doing a lot of the primary creating, even with Amani Bates there. A lot of them would just ISO and be able to create looks for themselves. So I gotta see him fit at Power Five. He will get Power Five interest. I just gotta see where.
what do we think about Michigan? He's a grad transfer.
Uh,
He's a grad, so he'll be able to get in.
I actually think for Michigan doesn't hurt,
I
especially
don't know.
with Doug
They don't have a
McDaniel
coach
hitting the
left.
portal.
They
I
don't have a
mean,
coach left right now, but he's from Detroit, played Eastern Michigan.
Detroit
There's a
knows
lot
the
of
hospital.
worse things you can do when you get the job than take Gecko. But number 15, I mentioned I had Peyton Sparks. He was bad this year, but he was a really good big at Ball State last year. Really physical, like probably maybe looking back at it always. Obviously, hindsight is always 2020, but maybe he shouldn't have gone to Indiana. And it didn't help that Indiana has Clell Ware and Malik Renew, which didn't really give him much of a chance, when even yeah.
They took all the hits.
Yeah. Which I mean they were just better, and I think
Even Anthony
it's
Walker
hard to
took some of his
like
minutes.
not play for Indiana. Like when you're coming from Ball State, like everyone from Ball State would want to play Indiana.
It's true.
So I think he'll be good at like a mid major. We'll
Oh, for
see
sure.
where he ends up. You can go ahead to your number 14.
So number 14, someone I actually used to not like, and it's Jameer Brickus. Jameer Brickus has really grown on me. This year he had a great season. I
He did.
think. He was really his efficiency improved. He was given a bigger role this year. I think he was LaSalle's best player. He is really good down the stretch of games. He can really shot create, and he's just a smart player. He doesn't
Hmm.
force things. He's going to be really good for maybe he gets. I think mid plus. I think he's a good place at a mid plus. LaSalle's not great.
Maybe
You
like a
know,
higher level mid plus, like
yeah,
top level A10 school or that
definitely.
range.
Yeah, he's a really. I mean, he's just a guy you want on your team. Definitely. If I'm a coach, I would give him interest. Hey,
Yes.
man, Villanova looking for some guards. I don't care who we take at this point.
I heard
Someone
there
who's
were
someone
some
who's going to take some good shots and not turn the ball over, man. And that's
I
what
heard there were
Brickus
some
does.
Quadir Copeland rumors at Villanova. It'd be fun at least. He's a
It
fun
would be
player to
fun.
watch.
It would be an
But
adventure, but because he
it's
can't
always
shoot
an adventure
really.
with him.
Sure.
But yeah, I'd break as an 8 actually. I just
Okay. I
really
like
liked
him
what I saw. Really improved his playmaking this year. Kind of
for sure. Yeah.
showed he could really be like a really
Run an
good point guard,
offense. Yeah.
honestly. 40% shooter from three. You like that, obviously.
His shooting's come a long way.
LaSalle wasn't that good, but with Dunphy, they were probably like kind of
They always
raised.
compete.
Yeah, they were competing,
They
and
took Bonaventure to the buzzer. They literally were a missed lob away. Literally, Deshaun Shepherd had a wide open dunk on like a putback, and then he missed it at the buzzer. And they would have forced overtime with that. It was an insane game that maybe not a lot of people watching it at 10 tourney because it's LaSalle and Bonaventure, but it was
yeah,
every game that tourney was awesome.
that was it was like almost like bad, but it was like
Yeah, no,
all the
I
games
kind of
were
get what you're
good.
saying.
There were a few
Especially
games I
towards the end of the
watched.
tourney, it was just defense only. Yeah,
Yeah,
slow pace.
yeah, but number 14, I had Deshaun Jackson from Charlotte. He's a guy I've always kind of liked, going back to his Washington State days. Obviously, took a year off for medical reasons. Still don't really know what happened there, but he ended up playing this year. So sounds like whatever issues there were um, cleared up. He had a very solid season at Charlotte. Was one of the reasons why they had a very solid season as a whole. Has some good size, good defender, good rebounder. It fits from inside, and I mean, he's a pretty steady big man. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna move everyone down on my list. I forgot him. I love Deshaun Jackson. I've loved him since 2 years ago at Washington State when he was a really
yes,
impactful player on their team. He was really good again this year. He even scored a little more than I thought he would. At times. So
yeah, and he'll still
yeah,
have 2 more years left because he played
that's right.
he played the COVID year that didn't count. Played the next year that counted and was
Out
out
all
for a
that.
year
Yeah.
redshirt. So he will be a fifth-year junior, which is always nice to have age in your program. Everyone wants big men in the portal. Here, he will be highly desired. So
Yes.
going over to 13, who do you have?
I have Isaiah Brickner of Marist. Someone I
Really?
still like.
I feel
Um,
like
I think
I
Marist.
saw him in the portal just to jump in there. I know we both kind of hyped him up preseason, but he really
I know, and I was
he was
really off
kind
him
of
at the end
bad
of the
this
year,
year.
but like I think Marist's offensive system handcuffs him as well. They're very
I
slow
don't know.
paced.
He was
They
bad this
play
year.
they
I mean,
play through their bigs. Um, but at the same time, he really can't shoot. I don't know. I still see some promise with him. He's still pretty young. Um,
I guess I don't know if I can get with that.
I just don't like Marist's offense. I've always like
I mean, they
not
were
liked
bad
it.
offensively, but like he was like worse than anyone else.
He was part of it for sure. A big part of it.
He was probably the worst.
Yeah, no,
I still see some potential though. Like I
I
don't
even
think
said
he's
like this year like, in the Mac tourney, like what am I scared of Isaiah Brickner? Like I made fun of him. I poked fun of him, but like at the same time, I feel like he could be better somewhere else. I feel like there's still
yeah.
something
I
there for
mean,
him to
I see
be
the
on this
potential,
list.
but I'm out on him until proven
Okay,
otherwise. At
I get it.
least to be
I
like really good.
100% get it.
Number 13, I had Sam Alexis from Charleston or not Charleston, Chattanooga. Yeah, he's just a really solid big, I think. I believe he has 2 years left. I mean, kind of the same thing as Jackson, almost like he's a better shot blocker, actually, really good shot blocker. I
Mm.
mean, good rebounder, efficient from inside. I mean, like just a pretty typical big man.
Yeah, I left him
Probably
off. I didn't
really.
watch much of him, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard he
I
was a big
watched
recruit
Chattanooga,
at Tennessee. And then
Chattanooga, yeah.
yeah, and then he went to Chatty, and I
He
didn't watch
was
it on.
he was a bigger. I You might be thinking
Or
about Randy Brady when you
yes, it's
say
Randy
big.
Brady. I remember we talked
Yeah.
about Randy Brady.
No,
He's
Sam Alexis
terrible.
is good though.
Okay, all right. Nah, I confuse it too. Yeah, I
No,
didn't.
Sam Alexis is like a sophomore big man.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't know. I definitely watched some Chattanooga, but I was focused more on like Bonham and Honor
Mm-hmm.
Huff than.
I got you.
But no, Alexis, pretty solid pickup for someone. Let's see, who'd you have at 12?
I have Isaiah Sellers from USC. Somebody who I've heard has a high ceiling. I don't know much about him. But I decided to slot him in here as a potential guy coming from a high
Yeah,
major.
don't hate that move. I mean, he's allegedly a good shooter. Let me check out his percentages this year. They
I don't
might
know a
not,
lot about him.
and there's a chance they might be bad.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
oh, he actually shot 42% from three. Not like super high volume.
But yeah, I'm about
Um,
to say can't be a lot, but
I thought he was more of a shooter than he was, honestly. I thought he was like strictly a shooter, but yeah, he was actually kind of efficient. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I think he could be good at the mid major, mid plus.
mid plus, yeah.
Definitely worth the take somewhere. Has that recruiting pedigree was on. Even though USC sucked, still a very talented team. Hard to get minutes when you're
Oh yeah,
maybe just not in
find a ton of
rotation as
talent,
well.
and
But number
guys that are older
12,
than him.
yeah. Number 12, I have DeMarco Polo Minor from SIUE. Pretty solid player. Good, really good rebounder for
I was thinking of putting him on
six
here.
foot guy. He averaged like 8 rebounds a game and he's 6 foot, but um yeah, not like overly efficient, but is really good from a free throw line and decent at getting there, so that kind of cancels out. And also, yeah, I don't really know where I see him like going,
Yeah, that's the thing with him,
but he
right?
can
Like,
really he can really score. He can be a lead guard. He can facilitate. Um, a lot of things to like about him, even though there are some things that I don't like.
hmm, let's see here. Yes. Actually, at number 12, this I'm at number 11. This is a team I actually watched a good bit of, and that is UTRGV. I like Elijah Elliott. I know he's inefficient.
Yeah, that's what
I
kept him
know
off
he's
my
very
list.
inefficient,
I see what you see, but like
but
it
his
physically kept
his
him off.
ability to create though, when he is on,
No,
like
I agree.
there's guys on UTRGV that in the past that just have just such a natural ability to score. Even if they're
Who was the
inefficient.
guy? Who was the guy last year?
He was insane. It
No,
was
who was it? It was Justin
Johnson,
X Johns.
and I think
I
he's
think
um definitely
Justin Johnson. Yeah,
the thing
that was
why
who
he
it
was
was.
so inefficient, and it's because outside of him, UTRGV did not have much at
No, you're
all.
right. You're right.
He was doing a ton of the heavy lifting. I think somewhere else he's going to be really, really good. Um, I think he's going to get some Power Five interest. I actually do. Um, I don't know where. Maybe a team like Florida State. I don't know. It's random, but
It is very
kind
random.
of.
He's good though, but efficiency. I know it
I
was
make few
partly.
exceptions with efficiency, very few, but I think he's one of them. I just have a good feeling. I don't know.
He can get buckets. He had 40 in a game this year. He can get buckets. There's no
Mm.
doubt about that. Number 11, I also have a guy who can really get buckets. That's Tyrion Joseph from Southern. I believe he was out for a lot of the later portion of the season, but he averaged like 20 points a game when he was playing. Somewhat efficient considering he was taking so many shots.
I don't know much
Um,
about this guy, admittedly.
yeah, I mean he was just getting buckets. He had 22 in the win over UNLV, 27 when they beat Mississippi State,
Wow.
22 against Arizona.
What's his
Um,
size?
he's small. He's 6'3", maybe a little
Okay,
taller than I thought. 6'3".
not bad.
Not really a point guard, just kind of like a
Shooting guard.
yeah shooting guard. Just gets buckets is kind of just what his main role is,
You
and
get it. There's always a
yeah.
spot for a guy like that.
Maybe he stays in town, goes to LSU. Um,
Okay, yeah,
I don't know.
see that.
Just a potential thought. I mean, he can get buckets, so like
Tulane,
maybe. I mean, hey, they could use someone like him. Just um,
Ron Hunter
you know,
likes guys like
this is your
that.
style of
Oh,
play. Ron Hunter
does.
likes to run, likes to score. Tyrion Joseph also likes to run and score. Um, yeah. Who did you have at number 10?
Number 10 is someone who also we both hyped and I think we're both disappointed by, and that's Tayshaun Connor. Um, somebody who,
I didn't even come close
yeah,
to
I
having him.
mean, I can understand why you're out on him. I can. Um,
He was definitely the other returning Kentucky guard, Leland Walker,
I have
who
Leland much
I will get
higher.
to him in a
I have Leland much.
while,
Don't
but
worry. Um,
like
I think
Connor was bad
Connor,
this year.
right? Like,
I
there's
mean,
just
like,
there were so many scorers on Eastern Kentucky this year. Like, there was like
yeah,
5 to 6 guys, and a lot of them had disappointing seasons. Connor wasn't really the only one.
he just didn't
Leland,
grow from his. I
yeah, he
mean, I
didn't.
will say he was actually playing like he had some decent games down the stretch.
Mm.
Had like two straight 20-point games late in conference play, but
I just wonder, you know, where he goes.
I wonder probably a similar level of school. I mean, he
I
wasn't
agree.
bad enough to like not play, but I feel like you just didn't see that growth that you kind
I
of
just
want to
hope he
see.
gets a
Like,
bigger role on a team. He just didn't have that same role this year as well. Like, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
he kind of had the same role. He just didn't have a bigger role. Like you kind of expect guys Like
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
true.
when you're a freshman, like you can use like excuses, but I find it hard to like, oh, like he was inefficient. Like, okay, he's a freshman, but when he
Yeah,
does the same things as a sophomore,
I get you.
I
They
still,
did return everyone though, but I mean, I get
yeah,
it.
I mean, how much you really expect his role to grow. He didn't get any more, like that much more
I'm
like
glad he's
productive
transferring,
though.
trust me. Mm.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Number 10, no, I had Ken Evans. Second straight swag guy, swag player of the year. He is really good. Um, he can score from inside outside. I just have trouble putting guys on bad teams that high. Um,
What's his size? Sure.
he is a 6'5" kind of wing guard, kind of three,
No.
I guess.
Isn't he on Jackson State?
Yes,
Oh,
he's played Jackson State 4 years.
oh,
Swag player of the year this year, shot nearly
oh.
40% from deep on about two makes a game. Um, can facilitate a little bit too. I mean, I think he's definitely a player that's more than capable of moving up a level. Has really shown a lot of growth throughout his 4 years
He had a
at
good
Jackson
season.
State. Gotten better every year and
He has. Yeah.
should be ready to make an impact somewhere next year, I think.
Oh, when I see someone's from Jackson, Mississippi, I know the dentist is gonna be calling.
Maybe. I guess we will see. Um, maybe we'll see how that fit would be in Mississippi State. Definitely. A lot of these guys don't even like go close to them though. Like if the
That's
bag is there,
true.
the bag
The
is
bag
there.
is gonna do the talking.
Yeah. Who'd you have at 9 now?
At 9, I'm gonna have another guy. Oh, I actually have Tayshaun Calmer twice on here. Well, I
You add someone now,
did.
so you
That's
should you
right. Yeah.
should be at 15 right now. If
Yeah.
you remove,
Hey, Sparks at 16. Let me just move Chauncey
but didn't
Jenkins.
you add someone in?
Yes, I did. I thought I added him on the list. Maybe I didn't.
You added Sam Alexis. Maybe that was a guy.
I
Or
wasn't.
Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun
Yeah, I
Jackson.
did. I did.
Forgot about
And
him.
yeah, he's on here. Oh, that's weird. Um, well, I've Chauncey Jenkins at 8.
He was my first guy out.
Chauncey Jenkins was disappointing this year. Very. Um,
Wait, we're at 9.
yeah, 8, 9. Um,
Oh, wait. Did you already have someone? Or
I Connor at 10 and then screwed up because I had him twice. I had him at 8 and 9. 9 moved Comber to 9, Jenkins to 8.
whatever. We'll just
Whatever.
we'll just keep going. I don't know
Just
what's
keep
going on with
going.
your list right now. Um, so anything to say about him?
Um, with Chance, again, really disappointed with him this year. Definitely was inefficient. I think he will be better in another offense. I think Jeff Jones is not an offensive coach. Jeff Jones is a defense first coach. He plays a scramble defense. Like offensively, they just basically didn't really run anything this year. They basically just
Oh, Jeff
uh
Jones wasn't even there half the year.
right, half the year he wasn't even damn there. So you
Yeah,
could just imagine like Chauncey Jenkins was just given the ball and just expected to score. And they had that one guy from
especially
Philly
once
as
they
well.
lost a lot.
Williams as well did a lot of scoring down the stretch too. Um, but yeah, there was just so much isolation, just like not good basketball, and a lot of it wasn't his fault. He was asked to do a lot. So like I still think he'll be good in an actual offense with an actual coach who's, on the rise and not, half a foot out the door. So, and obviously Jeff Jones had health problems. I'm not
Yeah,
disrespecting him.
but
Like,
still, this situation for
mhm.
him to succeed just wasn't really there.
Yeah, not this year. And he was really good in past years. So, I'm banking on him getting back to that. So,
Yeah, yeah, I came really close to having him. He's a solid player. Should be a good pickup for whoever gets him. Number 9 though, this guy might have like been announced last night. I don't know if we talked about him. But that's Joe Charles from Louisiana. Really good two-way player. Really good two-way. Um, two-way player in there. I believe he is a big man, kind of a forwardo. Actually, he's not really a super big man, but like is really good rebounding wise, which is why in my head for a second I thought he was a big man. Really good rebounder, really good defender, can stretch the floor a little bit. Um, a lot to like about him. I mean, he's not like an overly high usage player, so he can kind of fit in most places. Um,
Hmm. For sure. He's a safe
I,
fit.
I really like him, honestly.
Mm. I have Kurt Lewis at 8. I
Really.
think I still like him. I just have to see him play. Um,
I mean, he
yeah,
was a JUCO player of the year last year.
he was.
So like he had some, and he was good at Eastern Kentucky when he played there.
So I'm excited for him. I don't know where he's gonna go, but Power 5 probably
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. Number 9 or number 8, I had Brickus. Number yeah, who do you have is that wait, is that who you had
Number
number 7?
7, I have
Because
Charles.
okay, so you added him in there. Or
Yeah, I fucking forgot him.
all right. Your list is I don't even know. Number 7, no, I had Tyron Lawrence from Vanderbilt. Is that too low or
I agree. I think it's too low. I
okay?
like
I
Tyron.
mean, he was just this year kind of turned me off a little bit. He was
Yeah,
good
he
last
was,
year. He was good
he was
last
on
year. He
the
was
stacked Titanic, man. This shit was in the fucking water half the year.
yeah.
That shit was gaining lots of water.
It was he was bad this year. I mean, he wasn't like terrible. He just wasn't that good. Like his play definitely fell off a little bit. He was hurt for a little bit at the beginning of the season, and
Hmm.
I don't
I
know.
actually have him at number 1 because I see
Really,
him with a
I
better
think there's a
program.
clear number one. I think there's a clear number one, and it's definitely not him.
I know it's going to be Renault, but I think
Yes,
Renault needs to get a lot better
we'll
defensively.
talk about that. We will talk about that when we get there. But I don't know. Vanderbilt was just bad this year. Lawrence didn't help the case.
Right.
I don't know. Still think he's definitely a high major player though. Like high majors can use him, like the Florida, Auburn, Georgia. Those
Like, I
schools
think
were
a
on him
good
last
SEC
time.
team with a good offense could definitely use him.
Don't
You know.
expect those schools to change. Who'd you have at number 6?
Jalen Leach from Fairfield.
I had him
Definitely
at
really good shot
5.
creator. Got a lot of years left.
Yeah, does
Um,
he? I think he
I
only
think.
has one.
Um, one or
He
two.
has 1 year left.
Okay, never mind.
He just
Right.
hasn't like emerged though until this year, which is why you probably
Yeah,
thought he had more years.
exactly. He kind of came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
admittedly.
Yeah.
But I do like him. I think
Oh yeah.
he's the reason I was high on Fairfield this year. I was annoyed that they came up short.
Yeah. I was definitely pulled for Fairfield there. But yeah, he's really efficient scorer, can handle the ball a little bit, good size for a point guard. If he is a point guard, I mean, kind of a combo guard, I would consider him more as. Can kind of
Hmm.
shoot. Actually, he can definitely shoot. Not like a huge volume shooter, but definitely a guy that can make threes if you put him out there to do that. Efficient scoring from inside, really efficient from the free throw line. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to like here. Not a lot to not like, except for maybe if you had to say one thing maybe that you didn't like is that this is the first year he's been good. So like, is he actually good or is he just like, you know,
Stepping up
like
on a bad
sometimes
offensive
I get
team.
kind of nervous when like players are just like mid-major players especially are just like good out of nowhere and they hit the portal like yeah, it
And go
just
back under their shell.
yeah. I guess we'll see. But he was really good this year. I would expect him to be a good pickup. I had him at 5, so I guess you can
At 5, I have Leland Walker again.
who I
Really
had at
good
4.
size. I think he's going to be
Yeah.
great at the Power 5 level. I can't wait to see him on a Power 5. I think he's ready. Um, and yeah,
He
he
was the
was
guy
one of
that
the
took a
bright
step up.
spots.
He was a guy that took a step up. Him and Comer were in the same boat last year, and Walker really took a step up.
Yeah,
He became way better. Wasn't like overly efficient, but expanded his volume way more and still got more
exactly.
efficient than he was last year. So that's
Right.
definitely a
That's what's
plus.
important.
Was a good
More volume.
facilitator. Yeah, good facilitator, tough, can get to the rim. Um, Again, not like super big, but I feel like he can force his way to the rim, gets his way to the line, stuff like that. And he has
Mhm.
2 years left, so a lot to like about Walker, I think. Um, who'd you have at four?
Four, I have Tyrese Reed Jr.
Okay, I'm
From
at
Michigan.
three. We're like one off on all these guys, but that's because you
Love his
have
upside. I
Lawrence.
actually just had him at three and flipped him, actually. And it's because I think the guy above him's a little bit more of a scorer, and gives those same defensive upside. Although Paris Reed is a bit bigger than this next guy.
I believe I know who you're talking about, but we'll hold the listeners hostage here while they don't know. They probably know if they follow enough. But maybe that's why people are listening to know. But yeah, so yeah, Reed, good rebounder, really big body. Um,
6'10", like 250, I think. Big.
yeah, or 265 according to Ken Palm. He's a big guy. I don't know if like he kind of broke out this year. Maybe not what some people were expecting, but I feel like even though Michigan was like
He made a positive
terrible,
impact
like
on them
yeah,
for
like
sure.
he was a
Early
guy
on,
that
especially.
definitely really you could see some growth in.
9 and 7. Mhm.
Yeah, solid defensive player too. And he addressed his concerns about foul trouble. That was like the big concern going into this year. Like
Yeah,
he fouled like every second he was on the court last year. It seemed like
exactly.
can he play a lot of minutes and not do that? And yeah, he kind of did. I mean, he still fouls a lot, but like it wasn't a problem. Like he still played like a solid
I
amount of
think under
minutes.
a coach that practices disciplined defense, maybe that can get a little better.
Yeah, Michigan was a disaster this year, but I wonder where we will see Reed end up. He definitely
I
will
don't
have
know.
his fair share of options. Very good
Should
recruit.
should have some money coming in.
Still has the potential. Yes, he will get a payday. Um, so number three, who do you have?
I have Jair Davis.
Yeah, that
Um,
was his name.
I definitely kind of hinted at it. 6'7", 6'8", but definitely more of a scorer. At least had more of a scoring role. But he's also very skilled in the post.
Hmm.
He's worked a little more in his mid-range game. I don't know if he shoots threes really, but
Kind of
yeah,
not very good at them. Can make one
exactly.
occasionally.
Right. I mean, it's just in his arsenal. It doesn't really use it, but it's
Yeah.
there. Maybe he'll get better at it, but Jair is very elite, and he is a
Mhm.
former Power Five guy way back when
Yep.
at Providence.
Yep. He was
So
a guy that was like when he was like young, like he was like really highly regarded,
he
like borderline
was.
like 5 star when he was like a sophomore in high
He
school.
was. He's been highly regarded for a long time.
Yes, he's always
I
kind of
wonder
been
where he
around.
goes.
I don't know. Definitely backup power conference level. But I wonder where. It will be interesting to find out. But yeah, he took a lot of shots this year. Wasn't the most efficient, but
I think
like
Villanova might give him a call. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I could maybe
Yeah, I
they
wouldn't
could
rule
use
it out.
anyone. They could get everyone and still be bad though, I think.
That's true.
But yeah, Davis physical. I think we'll play more of like the four. Like
He's a four.
honestly was like Delaware's like center, but like
No, he was.
he
They
didn't
had
play
no
offensively
size.
like a center really. Like I wouldn't consider him a center, but like he kind of was a center, if that makes sense. But yeah, good rebounder, good, really good player. Can distribute like a little bit too, for his size, and a lot to like about Davis. Will definitely make a big impact. Um, so number two, you have right now. I think he's easily number one.
I get it. You've liked Renault for a while, and I do too.
I
I just
mean,
think he could be a bit
yeah,
better on both ends. Like he
he could
was
be better on offense. What can he do to be better
I
on
mean,
offense? He
on
was.
defense, I mean, that's like a two-way player, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Okay.
I think he's really soft sometimes. Like, I definitely think defensively he needs to be an anchor, a rim
Yeah.
protector. Um,
His block rate was 2.9%, which for a guy at 7'1", probably should be a little bit higher than that.
and
I
I
agree
don't
with
think
you.
he altered many shots either, like that are, he just, I don't know, especially at a high level power five where I think he's gonna go. rim protection is going to be asked of him. That's the job of a center.
Maybe
Even if
he can follow Harrison Ingram and go to North
no,
Carolina.
I know that's what I'm hitting
I
at.
know people have been buzzing at that. I don't know like what's actually going to happen there, but people,
He's gonna be the next Brady Manick or Pete Nance.
that's completely not his style though, but
He does shoot threes.
he does.
He pops out.
He's a center though. Like those
Yeah,
guys
true.
are
He's much more of a post up
centers.
scorer
And
than
North
those
Carolina
guys.
could use a center next year. They
Baycott's
could.
finally employed.
He definitely got some bags. Can't hate
I know he
hate
did.
on
No,
that.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, if North Carolina made Harrison Ingram as good as he was, considering, I mean, he was always good because of his recruiting pedigree, obviously, but they made him like into someone who, if he comes back, will be discussed as an All-American next year after
Right.
being bad at Stanford. Or not
Legitimately.
bad, just like
Well, we both
he was
did
kind of
not
like good
like him
and
at
bad at the same
Stanford.
time. I don't know.
No.
It's hard to explain. But Rhino was like legitimately good at Stanford. He was so good
He was.
offensively. Um,
Definitely.
really elite rebounder. He's so big. So big. Kind of expect that, but
Big dude.
I mean, he still is a very elite rebounder, regardless of the situation. Really fish from inside. Yeah, maybe you want to be a little bit more physical, less soft. I think he's still clearly number one. He is so good. Um, so yeah, those are our top 15. Obviously, you had Lawrence at one. A few other names to know.
Not much, honestly. This is
Yeah,
me
I had a
being
few names
honest.
wrote down. Dennis Evans is one who was
Okay, yeah.
had some medical issues, like Louisville wouldn't even clear him. Former 5-star, maybe not actually that good. I mean, people didn't weren't acting like he'd actually be good this year, even when he was like fully healthy. But he's a big guy. If he can actually be cleared, which we're definitely hoping all the best for him in
For
that
sure.
aspect. We definitely wanted to play former borderline 5-star just a year ago. So want to see him be in a place he can succeed, which maybe he doesn't want to be in a place he could succeed because he committed to Minnesota, then flipped to Louisville. Like, I don't know. What's like the worst like power conference school like next year?
Oregon
Um,
State.
they're not a power conference school
No, that's
anymore
right.
though.
Not
They're
anymore.
what's like a horrible situation? Like I'm
Oh
trying to
man.
think of like some horrible situations next year.
Florida
Maybe,
State's gonna be pretty bad, right?
but
I mean,
they might. Uh,
they might spawn some talent in.
I was gonna say they might get a coaching change.
And that too.
I'm trying to. DePaul might be good too. I mean,
Right? Oh no.
I don't know. You can't really think of bad situations because everything can be fixed with the portal. But whatever the bad
Exactly.
situation is, Dennis Evans might want to go there. Side Medley from St. Louis, freshman
Okay.
point guard
Yeah, I've heard of
entered,
him.
good facilitator. Definitely worth the look. Played a decent amount for a freshman this year. They didn't really have another point guard, so he kind of had to play. But high assist rate, alarmingly high turnover rate as well. So kind of take the pluses with the minuses. But as I said, he's a freshman. I can live with the bad
And I
efficiency.
will be honest,
Um,
like being under Travis Ford, they play really fast. So that was a big development for a freshman, right? You're thrown into that fast pace.
yeah, and he was a
Turnovers
guy
are going to be part of
running the
it.
show.
Turnovers are going to be a part of it.
Yeah, they
I think
actually have a
under
good
another
offense
coach,
too.
right? Under another coach, I think that can be fixed easily.
Yeah. One Marist guy I do love is Javon Cooley though.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard
I
of
will
him.
say he was like he's a guy that you look at advanced stats and they just pop off the page. Um,
I just, I mean, I watched maybe like a game of
yeah,
Marist and then I
that's
wanted to stab
understandable.
my eyes
Low
out.
usage. He's a low usage player, but like
Max
shot
Allen,
like
though. Shout out to Max Allen. He's
nearly
good.
50% from three, like really efficient from inside the arc, really solid defensive splits, like a lot to like about Cooley. Think he can really be impactful with his size, solid size in the wing, 6'5", 205. think he can be a solid wing player. Maybe I don't know if he like a power five would take him because I mean
The tough
he
jump.
didn't do
Yeah,
that much at Marist, but like I think he could like wind up on a mid plus and end up actually being like a really impactful piece
for
next year.
sure. Yeah.
Super efficient offensively considering how questionable Marist was. Like his true shooting percentage was 70%. That is
Wow, that's
insane.
really good.
Brian Miles from Prairie View, another guy, solid defensive numbers, good rebounder, um, solid player. Think he could definitely move up a slight level, not like power five, but I think people will want him. JJ Trainer was actually kind of good this year at Louisville before he got hurt. Might have 2 years left. He might get this year back. Um, Let me just scroll on some other names. Cruz Davis didn't really play this year because of injury. Definitely some
Former
potential
Iona.
there.
Um,
Um, Ansley Almanor from Fairleigh Dickinson almost made my top 15 list. Pretty solid player there. Kellen Amos from
oh yeah.
Central Connecticut will be a solid pickup. Uh,
I actually think he was on my list and took him off. That was the guy. Damn it.
okay.
But you know what?
Uh,
It's cool.
yeah. Yusuf Kaya from Michigan. Maybe there's some potential there. He hasn't really done much in 2 years, so maybe there's not
No,
potential.
yeah, I'm
We'll
not
see.
sure.
We'll see. Cal, a few guys enter. Rodney Brown, Grant Newell. Both those guys have potential.
For sure.
Um, I really like Brown. I'm kind of disappointed he transferred, but would like to see what he
I do like Rodney
accomplishes.
Brown. Yeah,
A
he's a good
lot of
athlete.
potential there. Um, some San Jose State guys entered. That must have been since we did the podcast. But
Cardenas.
Alvaro Cardenas and Tibet
Oh
Gordon.
wow.
I didn't even know they entered. Well,
I'm one of the
we'll just
biggest Alvaro Cardenas fans. I love his game, man. But
yeah.
anyway, a
Jemiah
Power
Neal
Five
entered
needs
the
him.
portal.
You know where
I guess
Alvaro
they kind of.
Cardenas is literally going to go, and you can quote me on this. He's a Utah Ute.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, Jemiah Neal actually was like okay at Arizona
That's
State
right.
this
I
year.
saw Jemiah Neal. Interesting.
Probably could have had on my list. I kind of
Yeah,
wasn't actually
well,
that
that's what I
good
was
though.
thinking.
Any other names? We're kind of just talking. Some 7-footer from American entered. He's like not that good, but he's good enough that he's going to get like some interest
Oh,
from big schools.
Jonathan Beagle. Yeah, from Albany. He's
No,
on.
I was talking about Jermaine
Oh, I know.
Ballisiger
That's
Webb. But
another
yeah,
name. Beagle's in the.
Beagle's good. Didn't really see a jump, but like Albany also
Yeah,
had way more pieces this year.
and they have
So
more guards, so not as much of the offense ran
yeah,
through him.
Mizzou lost Mbor Majak.
Oh, he's one of the worst players I have
He's a
ever
walk
seen.
on. He doesn't. I don't think he's on
He was
scholarship.
forced to play this year. He
Well,
played
that
a
that's
lot.
a recruiting issue. That's a recruiting issue. If you have to play guys that are bad, that's not the players that are bad's fault. It's
He's
the
worse than Jordan
coaches.
Wilmore.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Skill Factory alum.
I Caleb Banks, Indiana guy. CJ Gunn, another Indiana
CJ
guy.
Gunn. Oh man.
CJ Gunn.
Where do we start with CJ Gunn? What if he
There's some
becomes
potential
good
there.
somewhere else and the
There's some
Indiana
potential there.
fans are gonna look
There's
dumb?
there's potential there. There's some like big men. They're just gonna get like Michael Graham. Like people are gonna want him. Actually, he's not like super tall, but like he's a good enough big man. Like people are
Jackson
gonna want.
Last from Robert Morris is someone's kind of
He's
intriguing.
solid.
Bad team.
Let me look through Max Morrell from Stanford. It's okay. Not really at a high major level, but um, I think that is about it. Unless any more names. Kimo
Yeah.
Ferrari can shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Makai Mason from Rice,
Yeah, I saw him.
solid player. And yeah, that's about it. So we will wrap up this show. Probably went a little bit longer than expected, but yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with
We always
hopefully.
scrap up some players to talk about,
Yeah,
don't
we
we?
just like we
You're
all we
very
like
good at
going
that,
longer
and
than we think we're going
I didn't
to.
even have the list pulled up today, so I was really trying to end this.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of intriguing names. I guess we'll see what we get tomorrow, but until
Yeah.
then. Yeah, make sure to follow us on our social media accounts at Hoopscoop Media, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us podcast platforms. Follow us everywhere. Do all that stuff,
Do we
and
want to do a bracket thing
we could do
on
that
Zoom?
tomorrow. We can discuss this off air, but yeah, we will be
All
back
right.
tomorrow for another episode of Portal Bonanza. Tomorrow will be our last episode for the time being, just with the bracket, the games being played. We will be back after that full time, but yeah, we will be taking a break. Watch your games. Just disregard the portal for from Thursday until Sunday.
Sit
The
back and
portal doesn't
enjoy.
care. The guys in the portal are in the portal because they're not playing in March Madness. Let's focus on the guys that are for a few days, then we can get back to the
And
portal.
Fanta brought up a really good point about it too.
Yes, that's basically
What he said.
what he
No,
said. But yeah, still got to cover the portal. But
you do.
for those 4 days, those are some of the best 4 days of the year. Let's not focus too much on the portal during those days. But yeah, we will see you tomorrow for episode 4 of Portal Bonanza.